Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you America's top foundational health coach, Dr. Joe D.
Hey there, I'm Dr. Jody Baird, known as America's top foundational health coach, and welcome to Life's Milkshake Moment. This is our third season here on Traverse TV, and this is one for the records. We are starting with our Health-a-Pedia project. More than a book, more than an event that we'll be doing on Traverse TV for 32 hours here in 2 weeks. It is a movement. Life is like a milkshake. Choose your ingredients wisely, and when you do, your life will be oh so sweet. I'm humbled and honored to say that 30,000 of my client patients have been able to take off and reclaim their health with over 1.1 million pounds of toxic fat lost. And in the COVID era, over 3,000 client patients have been able to reclaim, restart, and regain their life and their hope. Because when you have hope, you have life, and in life there is hope. And what we have here I can truly say, you will hear it with the mindset with our esteemed guest today. You will hear it with his skill set, because what the mind can conceive and believe, as Zig Ziglar said, it can achieve. So just keep your hope alive. What is hope? It's going down into yourself, because no one knows you like you do. Go up in opportunity to your true north. Come in positivity and the law of attraction, and then go out in empowerment to change yourself first and then change the world. My mother gave me hope when I was paralyzed. You know the story. My mother gave me hope when she said, Jody, give others hope the way that you've given it to me. Hulda Clark gave me hope in showing protocols for my youngest son. And she built an absolute eternal inferno inside of me. Now we're giving health and hope to others in our anthology. And Jamie Kerr is one of those people that will be in our book. He is one of those people that absolutely gives vibrance and gives just blessing to all who know him. Take a look, take a listen, experience him for the next hour, because life is like a milkshake. Choose your ingredients wisely, and when you do, life will be oh so sweet. So right after this commercial break, I'll be introducing the one and only, there's only one, Mindkite Mindset, Jamie Kerr, right after our sponsor, Vibra 360. This piece of life's milkshake moment. He does this in such a way unlike any other, because he's lived it, he does it, and he has become it. And so just knowing that if you are right here, right now, you can always go into that piece. If you're just looking to do this for just a little bit, just take one step in front of the other. You will get there. Les Brown says it is possible. It is possible for you to do what only you can do. Know that you have the power within you. It's possible. I'm possible, but you are possible too. In my 43 years, I'm humbled and honored to say that over 30,000 of my clients have reclaimed their weight and their health, of 1 million pounds of toxic fat lost. But in the COVID era, in this last 3 years, over 3,000 of my clients have restarted, reclaimed, and regained their health, because the body, like the mind we're going to hear about today with my esteemed guest, the body is a miracle making machine. It can and will heal itself. It will heal itself so that you can go in and you can go down into yourself to find out who you really are. As my book, The 21 Days to Your Best You, says, you are the only person that will never leave you. Get down into yourself for hope. Go up in opportunity. The P stands for positivity, to be and live the law of attraction. And then you can go out in empowerment, positivity, and create your kind of world. This is what my guest here today has done, and has done it for countless people. He's an international best-selling author numerous times, but I've gotten to know him through the Les Brown family. It has been an absolute honor to see and become what Les Brown says, that like-minded just community of heart-centered, achievement-driven leaders, but they're servants. My guest is a servant here. And my healing and hope really began with my mother. I too wanted to give back the hope that she gave to me. As many of you know, you have situations in your life that aren't exactly like a milkshake moment. You get blindsided just like that, out of the blue. I was 24 years old, a classically trained musician, going on my way to another performance of Handel's Messiah, singing the lead role, was thinking about singing Rejoice Greatly, O Daughter of Zion, broadsided by a Lincoln Continental. My next waking moment, I was face down in a surgical halo, paralyzed from my shoulders on down. Where was the hope then? Where was my life's milkshake moment? Where was my mindset that I had to bring me to the skill set? I remember gratitude. And I remember my mother, who said to me, as she was looking up to me because I was face down in the halo, she said, Jody, just remember, the doctors only see what they see. They don't know who you are. So who are you in those moments? Who are you in those moments where you have to pick yourself up? Because I decided that hospital bed in that hospital room was not a hospital. It was my hotel room. I was going to check out one day. And yes, I did. 6 months later, I got out of the bed myself, walked out of that hospital room and floor. And I've been running ever since. My mother gave me hope. And then I gave hope to her. And she instilled what I've been doing now for 43 years. When I got and was blindsided by a ring on the phone. A young mother then with a couple of children, they were under my feet. The phone rang. I picked up the phone and she said, Jody, I have bad news. I said, Mom, what is it? She said, they say I have cancer. Oh, no, Mom. She said they'd given me 6 weeks to live. All I could think of is that my mother gave me hope. I was going to give it back to her. And I flew back from Atlanta, Georgia, to my little hometown in Laurel, Montana. There, I found hope in the protocols of Edgar Cayce. I found hope in the little Laurel, Montana library. Blew off the dust of those books. And I gave my mother 2.5 years length of life, way beyond her 6 weeks to live diagnosis. And as she was transitioning from this life to the next, she held my hand and she said, Jody, give others hope the way you've given it to me. That's what we're doing with Health-a-Pedia. That's what my mother did for me then as I became a health coach. And as you've heard on previous broadcasts, now a young mother with a toddler that's just had my energy, but he also had testosterone. What was I going to do? He was going to be pigeonholed with some psychotropic drugs and a diagnosis. I said, no, he just needed a little help. And the law of attraction, we're going to hear about this today. The law of attraction brought me to Hulda Clark, the iconic Hulda Clark, who was living in Atlanta at the time. She had retired, but I found her. I was a female Indiana Jones. I knew no GPS, no internet. 1984, I used just Who do you know? Who do you know? Who do you know? Found she lived in Alpharetta, Georgia, and I found Dr. Hulda Clark. She said, I'm not seeing patients. I said, you will see my son. You see this blonde hair boy? He's gifted. There's nothing wrong with his mental state. She took me then under her wing. She said, well, I really enjoy working with your son, but I don't take any mentees. I said, you'll take me. 2 years later, I wrote out a goal card that said, I will pen the Eastern medical version of the PDR. I found that goal card when I was cleaning out things, as we all did during COVID, and out fell this recipe card, all crumpled up, but it said, I will pen the Eastern medical version of the PDR. And now we're birthing this week. September 18th is the book launch of Health-a-Pedia. 38 authors, plus myself and the esteemed, iconic Dr. Bernie Siegel, are bringing to the world the 6 pillars of incredible health success. It really does take 6. It's a magical number. So we have spiritual, we have physical, mental, emotional, social, and financial icons in the industry. And Jamie Kerr is one of these. I will introduce Jamie after our commercial break. And I find it fitting that we would take our first commercial break with none other, because he is a mental mindset kind of guy. Let's take our break with
It's time to go after your dream. You've got an idea, so wake up, baby. This is your day to start moving towards achieving exactly what it is you want. Put your shoes on, grab your coat, and get outside. Light that candle, sit down, and meditate. Do what you have to feel good. Grab some water and drink the whole glass. Stretch your body, move, reach, wiggle your toes, and get out all the old stuff that doesn't feel good, because today's your day. You're going to do something magical today. You're going to make a difference because you're going after what it is you want. This is your moment, so take it. Do something today to get one step closer to what it is you want, because guess what? The universe is waiting for what you've got brewing inside your mind, and it's excited to help you, encourage you, motivate you, and push you forward, because what you're thinking, it wants to see. So go after it. Sit down at the computer, get some work done, grab your notebook, write out that list, do some training, teach yourself something new, be a good student, learn what it is you don't know, ask questions, look to people who are doing what it is you are doing and emulate that. See how you can do more. What can you learn? How can you stretch? How can you push the boundaries of what you're used to and do something different? Because you gotta be different if you want different, and this is your time. You know this is what you want, and so go get it. Push yourself, encourage yourself, support yourself, because you can do it. You've got this. We're all watching you, and we're cheering you on, because we know that your passion and your belief is undoubtedly going to get you there. Don't let anything stop you. Just keep reaching, keep leaping, keep climbing over whatever obstacles you have to go after it. You got this. It's yours. It's just waiting for you. The idea came to you because it wants you to execute exactly what it is you're dreaming of. It wants you to succeed. So grab the day. Grab hold of all the possibilities that are right there. Just reach out into the air and grab them. They're right there, waiting for you to be amazing. Because you are amazing. You're fantastic. You're exceptional. And the universe loves your idea. Seize the day. It's yours. You got this. Go get it.
universe knows that I want to take this moment to thank JB Owens, my coach, my mentor, the one that believed enough in me to say, why don't you write this first book? Because I wrote this first book with her with Ignite the Hunger in You. I met our guest through Les Brown's coaching. Then we went to this, the 21 Days to Your Best You, 1.1 million copies sold the first month through Ignite. It was JB Owen that said, you need your own channel, your own label. And I said, well, what kind of looks with Wikipedia? And we said at the same moment, at the same time in my house, Health-a-Pedia. That's how it was born. See, nothing is an accident. Dr. Bernie Siegel says there are no coincidences. And my guest here is no coincidence, because I said yes to what I had was my dream. Yes, I wanted to be an author. I was a consultant, speaker, trainer, all of that. But because I said yes to Les Brown, I met Jamie Kerr. Jamie and I connected right away. There are people in this world that talk the talk, but he's one that walks his talk. I knew, and instantly there was such an authenticity. It wasn't just because I just adored his British accent from wherever it comes, from England. He just captivates you. But when you hear his story on how he created the Mindkite, the mental imaging, he is also an absolute icon in the industry of speaking. His download with Les Brown has gotten over 1.5 million downloads. I mean, it's crazy. He absolutely didn't even have enough time to write out a jot form because he's that in demand, which is fine me. I'm just going to read you a few things about him. He creates the mindset to succeed. He has recently gotten married to Jennifer. So it's J&J, Jamie and Jennifer. Only the law of attraction. We're probably going to go into that story because he built his own personal milkshake of life. But frankly, a 3-time best-selling author, motivational speaker, podcaster, producer. I just remember when JB and I came on his show, I was going, oh, I'm nervous. I'm going to be good. I mean, it was that kind of thing. But he's a humble servant leader. I'm so grateful to have him on Life's Milkshake Moment, and welcome, Jamie, to Life's Milkshake Moment, because you just know how to build it with whipped cream and everything on top. Welcome, Jamie.
Thank you very much. But see, with those introductions, now I've got a lot to live up to, and that makes it so difficult. You're right, I'm a humble segment, but we'll just keep the story humble.
Just keep the story humble. And that's what you do. I just love you. And for those of you, we just might be having a sister bromance here. You can kind of filter in, but I just want everybody to experience you, Jamie. I mean, getting that picture, you walk your talk. I'm just going to start there. You sent me something on WhatsApp. And I've got to say, I'm going to go way on forward. I'm so delighted in this laptop lifestyle that you and Jennifer are going to come to Boca Raton for our first the Health-a-Pedia retreat for the 3 days in February. This truly is a movement. I'm so glad you said yes, but let's back up and let's talk about you. When you said, I just need a mindset. Here, there's a train strike. You can't get back to your bride back on the other side of the country. And I see this picture of Stonehenge, and I see your feet coming together. And you said, meditation and grounding. You walk your talk. But how did this begin, Jamie? How did Jamie Kerr begin?
The mindset journey started, as it does with many, probably through some tragic backstory. Mine isn't too tragic, but I come from a place called Glasgow in Scotland, which is, you know, it's a high poverty area, a low income area with a lot of trouble. But I think with these low income households, low income areas, I think in America you call them like the projects. So I came from a place very similar to the projects in America. But, I had an eye for nice things. I seen people with nice things, in different locations, in different areas. And just to think to myself, why can't that be me? Why isn't that me? What is missing from the people in my circles, my area, my location, my geographical area? What is wrong with us? What is missing? And I realized there was nothing wrong with us, but we just didn't have the right mindset.
Yes, mindset.
And that was the start of it. It was the way, when I started to speak to people who had nice things, I realized that they were They were different in the mind. They were different in their approach. And it wasn't so much, you know, they focused on the money, but they focused on how they thought
Yes.
about. So it was 100% mindset. And from that day forward, when I started adjusting my mindset to think like a person that could have, that should have, I became somebody who did have.
Should have, you did have, but you decided you could have, you should have, and you did have, correct?
Correct. And that's the path that went. And as I grew in my mindset journey, I became, you know, it's a lonely journey because when no one around you thinks the same, you become, it becomes lonely. But then I started thinking to myself, okay, I've now become successful. I really need to help the people that are around me that don't have that mindset trigger, that don't have the keys to the castle. So what I did then is I developed a strategy. I developed some conversations. I developed some styles of speaking that I could reach out to people that were like me from the same location as me and help these people begin to elevate.
A servant leader. Was that how IRP started? Or was that a little bit later?
A little bit later. So from that mindset change that I had, I noticed that from the area I was from, Glasgow, we had a lot of suicides. A lot of people with really bad mental ill health or mental health. And I noticed it was in the location where I was from. Glasgow was the highest in Europe. And I thought, not my people. Wait a minute, we need to fix this. So as I started making groups and getting people together and really researching why people would go down the road of taking their own life, right? The ultimate, you know, the ultimate thing is you never come back from that. You're gone. But you leave also, you know, your family members, and you leave a lot of sadness behind as well.
Carnage. You leave carnage. You take on it, become carnage. You leave that carnage, and they were hopeless. Like I talked about hope earlier, Jamie. Right? They were hopeless. They saw no end. And so, how did you get them through that?
So what I started to do was, you know these people that go and like research animals and they stay in the wilderness for months. I started finding people and families that had attempted suicide or family members that are proceeding from someone who's committed suicide. And I just asked them, can I just talk to you and basically study what's happened? Because if I can find out any small triggers, any small things that may be noticeable in others, I can prevent this from happening in the future. I can find something where I can find a question to ask people. I can find a saying, a phrase. I can find a conversation to have where I can prevent suicide even from crossing someone's mind. Because although suicide is an option, I never want it to be a choice. And I have to make it, yes, it's an option on a shelf, but by God, you will never choose that. So that's what started Mindkite, and that's what started me really on this whole journey of you know, being a mental health ambassador, you know, trying to coach in the space, trying to speak in the space. So it's not just about elevating mindset to get more out of life. It's sometimes on a base level just to get to the next bloody day.
The next bloody thing, just to get life back in your body and in your mind. It's not getting more out of life when you don't have life, when you're almost lifeless. Let's get a little bit of as I talk, Jamie, just that one step. Even with weight loss, I said, you know, you aren't fat. You just have fat. So let's just say you didn't get here overnight. Let's just take one step upon another. Correct? We do the same thing like that, don't we?
Absolutely. And the thing I found most was a lot of people would say to me, yeah, but I felt that there was no way out. But realistically, there's always a way out, because whatever problem you had or have, it found a way in. So the way that came in is the way that can come out. So there's always a way out, you know?
Yes.
There's a path. The pathway that came in, we're going to retract that and follow that back out again.
And that's kind of like getting down to the you think you're down to the end of the milkshake. There's no more ice cream out. Well, there's still a gallon out there. We're just going to put in some more and build it again, right?
And then that takes us on to IRP now, because I talked to it and I've studied myself in all aspects of therapy and counseling. And I think to myself, it's great, you know, becoming a psychologist, becoming a counselor, becoming a therapist. But why are these people in therapy for so long? Why are people in counseling for so long? Because there's some people I know that have been happy on the Friday and then, you know, attempted suicide on the Monday. We have to work quicker than a 6-month program, than a 12-month program when it comes to the mind.
Yes.
We have to have something that can go quickly. It has to be rapid. We have to transform people. When I get a phone call on Friday and someone's upset, I need to transform that life around on the phone call.
Yes.
So IRP was, and just like you're saying with the milkshake, when the milkshake comes down, you can find another gallon of ice cream. So that to me is input. So in IRP we have input, retention, and projection. Yes. So what we put in, we then retain. And what we retain, we then project into the world. Beautiful. But if we understand that we can change the input at any time, it means that we can change what we retain at any time, which means we can project anything we want into the world. And that could be emitting the joy and the happiness from ourselves. It could be showing the world how talented we are. It could be showing the world our soft side, our sad side, our angry side. But it's our choice what we input. You know, things happen to us and we do have traumatic experiences in life. We go through a lot and more will come. Just because you're happy one day doesn't mean you'll be happy the next. That can change from minute to minute and hour to hour. But we do have a choice of our input. It's like a DVD player. We can take the disc out, put a new disc in, and we get a different picture on the screen.
And it's a brand new piece of music. It's a brand new video. It's a brand new picture. It's a brand new you. I always say that transformation is an inside job, and this is a perfect time. Let's just take a break for our next sponsor, Jamie. Hang on, because it is brain immersion. Let's hear and take a listen to Confidence Tones.
Welcome to Confidence Tones, where we use a proprietary audio development formula called audio immersion to provide an experience that's designed to help quickly and effortlessly generate positive change in the subconscious mind when used correctly. This experience is achieved using 4 primary building blocks: brainwave modulation, invocation of positive emotions, immersive imagination stimuli, and developmental suggestion. We know of no other source in the world that provides the synergistic combination. With a good pair of headphones, you'll be able to immerse yourself into audio that's designed specifically to help you feel better, do better, and live better.
Say, Jamie, that Confidence Tones is Dr. Jody approved because I had the pleasure and the honor of doing a lot of the consulting for that brain entrainment. And that's I thought we got to do our Confidence Tones sponsor for sure. You can get your version and get your Mindkite on with this at drjody.com/confidence-tones. I want to go more into this IRP, because as I read your story before we go into Health-a-Pedia and how we came together on this project, because I find this absolutely amazing. I'd love you to give me a couple of stories of clients that you've had that just were here and you've taken them there just like that, because I know that's what you do.
Yeah, absolutely. So the thing is with this, everyone has a story, and I love to hear these stories, and I'm sad to hear a lot of these stories. But the thing that excites me is I know no matter what the story is, if you come to me with a problem, I know I'm going to be able to help, or I'm going to have a beautiful friend that can. But a lot of people, what they don't realize is your story doesn't happen to you. It happens for you, through you.
Yes.
And this is the thing. This is an absolute this is where the projection comes. So if you have a story that happens, it doesn't happen to you, it happens for you, through you. That's a projection. So what you've done is you've taken input, you've retained it, whether it be good or bad, and then you've projected that out into the world. So when people come to me, it's genuinely, it's a bad input they've had. They retain the badness of the story, and that's now what they're projecting to the world, consciously or subconsciously.
Yes.
And for me, I see that immediately, and I say, okay, so how do we change that? Do you understand this story has happened for you? No, it happened to me. This happened to me. That happened to me, to me, to me, to me. No, but let's change the story, right? Because if we change the conversation, and now you have to say the story happened for me, you have to explain to me how it happened for you and what the positives are going to come from that. So from that, what I can say is, okay, we can highlight 10 positives that came from a bad situation, which then makes it instantly the projection better, right? Or if I take someone who has, for example, had a problem in a nightclub, let's say, had an altercation in a nightclub, and now they can't go out. They're scared to go out now.
Sure.
And I say, okay, are you scared to go out? And they'll say, no. Or they'll say, yes, I'm scared to go out. And I'll say, or are you scared of the problem that may happen when you go out? Okay, so now we understand there's a different situation. So if I give you 10 bodyguards, you're going to be safe when you go out. So the story that happened to you didn't happen to you, it happened for you, and something came through you. So now we can retract that back. Like I said, when people say there's no way out, the story that they're saying there's no way out from, we're going to take it the way it came in from, and we're going to go back out there. So with IRP, what I want them to do is just change that story they tell themselves. Change the DVD. Yes. Change the upload. Change the USB. Change how you got that information. Let's tell ourselves a different story, have a different conversation.
A brain immersion goes a long way. I tell you what, no wonder that just showed the world that you're a mentee of the Les Brown, because he's always said things happen to you, but for you. And then you took it up a level and you said through you. Congratulations. Papa Les will be listening to this. And that's a beautiful, beautiful iteration. Just an honor to him, because he wants us to be the next level of speakers for sure. And I hope that I can jump, because I said, congratulations. When I saw a picture on Instagram I thought, Jamie's got himself a babe. And then when I said, congratulations, I knew you were going to on your honeymoon and whatever. And you said, you just, it's like, oh, just pass the tea, pass the salt and pepper. Oh, that was just law of attraction. I know that a lot of this Mindkite IRP had something to do with Jennifer being attracted into your life. I'd love to hear the story.
Yeah, I think a lot of people have a big plan for their life. And when I was developing this IRP, I had this perfect picture of a story that my life should look like. We talk about these vision boards, and we have these vision boards, and we put the car on it, and we put the wife on it. We put all these things that we want out of life. But it only takes, and just come back to like your Health-a-Pedia cover here, it takes that one next jigsaw piece and the whole picture can change.
Yes.
And it doesn't just change your picture, it changes everybody else's picture.
Yes.
And for me, I grew up in a family of, my mum and dad were married for 20 years. Marriage was really a thing that was, it's stoned, and I love it. I love the sanctity of marriage and everything it stands for. So that was always part of my big picture. But as I kept putting pieces in and things changed, the distance changed, this isn't going to happen for me, because the picture's always changing, right?
Right.
Even if it's not vision, the vision's always changing with every piece. But at the back of my mind, I always really knew that the story will be right when the story is right. And it depends also who's handing you the piece. For me, I was always thinking, God's handing me the piece and I'm putting the piece in and my picture's changing. But one time I was being handed a piece, but I didn't let go of the hand. So then turning around and realizing that piece was Jennifer, that was a fixed piece of my future. Now we're building and we're putting jigsaw pieces in together, which changes both our destinies at the same time. It's not just that one piece that's changing my future. It's
you were holding each other's hand. You didn't let go of the piece. Y'all, did you get that? You did. And you turned around and there she was.
And that's it. I mean, we spoke a lot. We joined together from the mind. We'd done a lot of things. We spoke on a lot of stages together. And it was a meeting of minds first. And you'll know this, when you have an adoration for the mind, you know, it can be soul bonding.
Yes. Oh,
And that's where it started, and that's where it came from. These conversations, these stages, and watching each other's mind develop and grow, and then being mesmerized by the words that's coming out each other's mouths. It's just beautiful.
oh, and to see your pictures of where you went on your honeymoon. I mean, this is an exquisite life that you've created, and I can't wait in February to meet her. But I want to come back. As I said, I showed it to you earlier. You've got to get these books. The Power of You. It's been on Amazon for a lot. I mean, you wrote it, I believe, in May of 22, and it's still in the top 50. So was this you and Robert's creation of Mindkite Chew, IRP, or how did this come about?
Yeah, I've got a big stick in my back because of, I think this industry is full of, there's a lot of gurus and a lot of preaching and a lot of big fancy words and complication, because the mind is this big, scary, complex thing. But really it's not. The mind as it works, that we don't know, that you know, whatever you believe in, some form of creation, it was created, and it may be complex. Like a car engine is complex, but when you give it to a mechanic, it makes it feel simple. And I wanted the brain to be simple for people to understand, because if you can understand your own mind, you can fix yourself. You can live a happy life, a joyful life. You won't think about taking your life. You'll be able to help yourself. You'll be able to help others. So I wanted to simplify the mind, simplify the laws of attraction, simplify all these complex situations that the gurus will talk about on stage that no one understands once they leave.
But they sound real good.
They do. They sound good, and I can charge a lot of money because of it. But how many people am I actually helping is the question.
Yes,
exactly. So what I thought was, I have to get the complexity of the mind in a simple format that we can put in a book that still does the work, but takes away the complexity. And The Power of You was that. It's a very, very easy read, but it's very, very powerful for self-development, for growth, even your intellect. You're going to read this and understand things about the universe, about yourself, about your family, about your friends that you just didn't understand before. And it's done in a simple way. This isn't a psychology book. This is a book just to get you to tomorrow. And if you can get to tomorrow, you can get to 5 years. If you can get to 5 years, you can get to 10 years. And believe me, that picture that you have on the wall, that vision board that you develop and grow, you can get to that too.
Yes, minute by minute. And then you were busy. You were busy a couple of years ago when everybody else was having COVID. You just took the Mindkite. I love that little kite. I was so excited when I found that little other slide to put it, because 30 ways to a better mindset, small step to big changes. That's exactly what you were talking about, Jamie. And you can go to Jamie's IG page, which is Jamie_Kerr Mindkite. Click on the link. It'll take you to the Amazon link, because Dr. Bernie Siegel talks about this. People can keep going to doctors. They can go to therapists, just like he said. You can come back to me and go to this diet, to that diet, and keep losing, and it's yo-yo. But it's how to live between office visits, how to live between sessions with your coach. And this, as I look through this 30 ways to a better mindset is exactly that. Congratulations on this book as well, Jamie. What would you like to share?
Yeah, I mean, that book I crafted, I wanted to prove within 7 days I could write a book that could change somebody's life completely. So I set myself that challenge. And I wanted to prove that within 7 days, I can change my life, you can change yours in 30. So I gave people 4 weeks on me. But 30 ways to a better mindset is very, very simple tweaks. For example, I have cold water showers in there, which are very good for the immune system. They're good for the blood. They're good for the skin. Yes. They're good for the growth hormone. They're good for the mindset. Plus, it's a challenge. No one wants to take at first the cold shower, but you give yourself that mental discipline. And if you take that one thing out of that book and you even done that for 30 days, you're going to change your life immensely. Yes. So to think I put 30 steps in there, even if you've done one a month, that means that you've got 30 months of change, 30 months of goodness, never mind 30 days. And it's all simple stuff. None of the stuff in there is difficult to do. None of the stuff is complicated, and it doesn't cost any money. All the things in that book are absolutely free to do, which is also important because some people can't afford to go to counselling. They can't afford therapists. And I understand that. I came from a background, I didn't have anything. So I want to give people the help I never had access to. So these books, I mean, sometimes I just run these books for free on ebook on Amazon. I just make them completely free. Every 30 days, I just reset. If you want it digitally, it's free. I'm not trying to make money from these little things. I want people to at least come back to me at some point and say, Jamie, I've done one of those steps and you've really transformed my life. That's payment enough for me, and it always will be.
That is just the ultimate servant leader. You've said it all. We could talk stop right here. That's what it's all about, because when you give it away, you get more back. You just get more back. I mean, you really do. I mean, when you were talking about the endorsements and the people that as we move into now in our last segment about, I'm just so grateful that, we hadn't talked for a few months. I follow you like crazy. I always have, because I just love your heart and soul and your mind. Okay. In that order, by the way. And I got to know you, and I'm going to say, way to go, Mom. I know you're going to be watching this. Congratulations. You're coming up on your first year of being totally healed and whole. And that was really an honor when you called me, said I guess you'd been watching me when you asked me to assist your mother in her healing journey. And I was so honored to do and get her back on track. Thank you, Jamie. You never know when you're going to need another skill set. And I was humbled and honored that you reached out to me.
No, you're welcome. And I think it's important in life, no matter how good you are at something, there's always people that can support and help you. There's even people that know more than you, or they have a certain skill set like you do. In the way you coach nutrition and food, and the way you can really, really help people, not just on that nutritional level, but on the mental level as well, and understanding how that affects the journey, how it affects the stress levels. And so for me, it's always about the good people and the right people. And, I've been humbled and grateful that I can have a network, like yourself, like Les Brown, like JB, these wholesome people that have a wealth of experience and knowledge above and beyond my own, that can support me and offer me and mentor me. So I'm always thankful for that. And I'll be eternally thankful for the help you gave my mother as well. As you say, she's now going to be that year free, and it's been a bumpy year. But it can be done. And that was cancer. That can be done.
It just becomes a little C. It no longer is a disease. I'm living proof. It's just a situation. You can get, as you said, it happened to you, for you. It's through you. It's out of you. Let's add, for disease, let's add a fourth one, shall we? It's out of you. It's out of there. Absolutely. It's out of there. And when I called you up and I said, Jamie, you had just been, I saw, you were going here. I'm like, oh, this is getting serious. Oh, Jamie gets married. Oh, I'm going to get a hold of Jamie. And I know you came in at the tail end of this project, but I'm so grateful that you're one of our authors in Health-a-Pedia. You are going to add, you and Rex Sykes, it doesn't get much better than that when it comes to mental mindset. So here on the Health-a-Pedia channel, are you ready for our first 30-minute spot that was debuted on Instagram? Let's take a look, take a listen.
Health-a-Pedia has arrived, led by the iconic 20th and 21st century icon, Dr. Bernie Siegel, MD, author of Love, Medicine, and Miracles, along with 42 extraordinary healing world changers that will motivate, educate, inspire, and propel you along your own path to wholeness, wellness, and abundance. Every compelling story will uplift you to your own epiphany of health isn't something you do, it's what you become along life's journey.
There we go. I didn't even realize it because it's meant for a cell phone and social media. Kind of nice how it just came in between us, didn't it? It looked really good.
That's absolutely fantastic. And just like you mentioned, Rick Sykes and Dr. Bernie Siegel, to be even considered to be in a book alongside somebody, and the rest of the names, the profile is just fantastic. It's absolutely a collection of people, hand-selected, hand-picked. absolutely amazing. And it goes back to like the humility again, to have myself in a book alongside these people, to be asked to be in a book like this of this magnitude. I mean, Health-a-Pedia. I mean, what's Wikipedia? Health-a-Pedia. Come on, it's just fantastic. So I'm really, really honored to be alongside these. And that's why I chose. I mean, this is an absolute exclusive. IRP therapy hasn't even been released to the world. This is an exclusive in the book. So although I do it, although that's been my practice, yeah, absolutely. So I always knew that I'd done my therapy and my mindset coaching was quick, but I never really formulated it into an official therapy, you know. So IRP was birthed over the past, 10 years, but the name and it been registered and it been recorded, this is an exclusive in Health-a-Pedia. So the world gets to see that for the first time in this book.
And the first things, and it's not the last thing, because you can go, our URL is live, and we put a dash in there, Jamie. You know why? Because every single time you put Health-a-Pedia, it came up PDF. So I think we're gonna go ahead and put the hyphen so it does it right, Health-a-Pedia. And actually sometimes it comes up pediatric, because the 2.0 version is either going to be She Power or it's going to be Kids Health, Kids Corner. We don't know, but the universe will give us the right people again to do that. And this isn't just a book, as I told you. It is a movement. It's a movement. Yeah, we're going to launch on the 18th of this month in September. Tune in. We'll be on YouTube, we'll be on Facebook, and we'll be on LinkedIn, 11 a.m. Eastern time. It's a little early for our people at 8 a.m. on Pacific, but Dame Doria Cordova, it's 4 a.m. in the morning. And she said, can I just not be on camera? I want to be there with you, because she'll be in Hawaii at that time. It's going to be around the horn book. And you made it international. I know you're going to have a big part, hint, hint, no pressure, to get us an international bestseller in the UK. I know you've got this with your contacts. But the idea then for us to go in, and this is live now, you can go to my website, drjody.com/events, and you will see everything about what we're going to be doing after this. See, this is, Jamie, we are now conjoined. Now that I know my parasites and your IRP, we are conjoined forever, because that's what I'm talking about for the first time ever. That's why I got goosebumps. I'm talking about the pristine clean, because aliens are it's not in a UFO. Aliens are in our body. We get them out. We can have them to you, for you, through you, and out of you. That's what we're going to put that fourth one in there. But my goodness, now we're going to do this virtual summit. Check it out, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be on Traverse TV Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. Thursday is my Sabbath, but it's noon Eastern time every single day. You'll be speaking, all 39 authors and myself, 23 hours of broadcasting. You'll be able to get it on Traverse TV the following week, and on pay-per-view, they're going to round it at whole, just a 24-hour deal. But then come February, I'm going to get to meet the J&J, the UK's version of the EU's version of Ken and Barbie, because you just do look like brother and sister. And to come over here and do our Health-a-Pedia, this is something, Jamie, I've just got to say, and then the floor is yours, because I want to ask you some more questions about this. But Dr. Jim Marinakis and myself, we've been partners now for 16 years. All right. We've been talking about something like this. You know, one of the protocols that your mother did to make sure that the cancer was out of her was something that we created during COVID. And it is a panacea. I'm just saying, I don't make any medical claims or whatever, but it's a panacea to boost your immune system and to increase your white blood cells. We didn't know this. And we said, we need to get this out in a presentation form. He knew that I was the marketer. This is going to be something, Jamie. We now have one booked. This is Boca Raton. You can join us. All the fees and everything is 3 days of, it's not going to be some workshop where you go ahead and you get, you're so full up of things. And then you go, I've got to sleep for a month. No, this is an experiential learning. We're going to learn how to do IRP. We're going to learn how to do the 5 things in Chinese medicine. We're going to start each day with yoga. We've got sound baths. We've got weight loss panel with Dr. Michael Pearson. 4 of my clients that are in the book, they total, Jamie, 1,200 pounds of toxic fat lost. So people are going to get their feelings around this. But guess what? We've got a yes for the mountains of Denver next summer. And we've got a yes 6 months later to do the first rooftop holistic spa in Los Angeles. Jason Estes and Jeremy Hoffman in the book said yes to being hosts. So how exciting is this? I just thought I'd give you the whole enchilada.
It's absolutely fantastic. And it's what is needed, because I talk about these seminars and these growth conferences, and everyone goes and they're on a hype, but then you leave and you're deflated. It's not enough. It has to be a movement. It has to be progressive. It has to be educational, but it has to be usable.
Educational and usable, prophetic. We're going to use that because I said it's more than a book. I didn't want anybody to buy a book, and all of a sudden they're in their linen closet. Said, "What's this lumpy stuff in there?" Oh, that's a book I wrote 3 years ago, and I never sold it. It's more than a book. We're in the process of negotiating final contracts, and it will be international distribution, and that will include you to have a wholesale book contract for a year to get us to not even just international bestseller on Amazon is wonderful, but how about New York Times bestseller? How about the whole thing? How about I guess it's TN crumpets, the whole enchilada? I don't know, whatever you want.
Absolutely.
We want every part of the meal in here. But how will it feel when people read your story, you autograph their book, and then they say to you, "This was a health epiphany for me"?
Well, for me, I always say, my saying is, in life, you're not responsible for the whole thing, just your part in it. And I don't want it to be my part. Yeah, of course. And I don't want it to be my part that I play in your life. I want it to, my quote is, it's the part you play. So I want people to play their part. So whether it's this book, whether it's the next book, whether it's our conference, whether it's the next conference, what part are you playing in your own health? What part are you playing in your own life, your family's life? You need to take responsibility for that. So yes, I'm going to provide the content. I'm going to come and speak at these events. And I really hope and pray you come and see me do my job. But it's all about the part that you play in your life.
Yes.
So if I can help that along the way, I will. But it's your part you play.
And the part that we play. And then you and Jennifer can find a location in that island of Greece where you were, and we can do one over in Europe as well. Okay, is that a deal?
Absolutely. The island is beautiful. And I think more people need to realize that these retreats are really worthwhile. You go and you find other places, other cultures, other foods, other friends, other mindsets, other skill sets. This is how we better our life. It used to be back in the days where we had these indigenous people and these tribes, and even going back to the Native American Indians, we had these villages and these communities where they sat down and they shared each other's knowledge.
Yes.
That's how they grew and developed and became something spectacular that the world still talks about today. Yes. You have to be around people where you're sharing your knowledge, or where you're gaining some knowledge from people who are sharing. That's what this book is. That's what our conference is in Boca Raton. That's what it is. It's us sharing the wisdom we have so you can play your part in life. Make it better.
Make it better. It's a better way. It's beyond social media. It's sharing. It's learning. It's sitting down with each other. It's breaking bread. So it begins, ladies and gentlemen, it begins on the 18th of September when I asked our Uncle Les to be our keynote that Tuesday morning. And this is what my vision, Jamie, because you're much younger than I am. I'm your mother's age, okay? And I said, if I'm doing this and coming back out of retirement again during COVID, when Bob Baer said, the world needs you. And I said, I've retired. And he said to me, well, just how much yoga are you going to do? No one knows about immunity and disease like you do. And I said, yes. I didn't know the internet. I didn't know anything about TV. I hadn't even done a Facebook Live, but you just learn and take that one step. That's how we started, Jamie, when you were saying you just take that one step. Can you get from that breath to the next breath? Can you get through from Friday to Monday? That's what we're going to do together, because my vision for this, and you are this is why I knew you had to be in this. And I'm looking at your handsome face. I mean, when we put that picture of you with the pink door and you were in the Cannes Film Festival, I'll tell you something. Don't want to make Jennifer jealous, but the 3 editors that were females, they were my age, of course. They said, "Who in the world is this?" I mean, they just love that picture. Because the world needs to know this. They need to know you, Jamie. They need to know what's in us. Because I said, if I'm going to come back out of retirement, what I'm going to do, just like Hulda Clark did for me, is that she empowered an absolute eternal inferno inside of me. I thought, my mother said that I needed to get other people hope, like I gave her. Then I got this inferno from Hulda Clark, and it's been burning ever since for 38 years. You see, Les Brown is going to speak, and guess who's going to follow him? His daughter, Serena. Kim Jacobs is going to speak. Guess who's going to follow? Her son, Ivan Jacobs. And then we're going to have the millennial. I know you know Manny Lopez, because he used to play for the San Diego Padres. And I said, you play baseball. Why don't you just be the cleanup hitter on Friday? I tell you, Jamie, it's going to be a way that we're sitting down with the next generation. Dr. Marinakis is my age. We're sitting down with the next generation to impart that. So we could go on, but I would love for you. I want to put your site up there. You've just got to get the books. Okay, I'm going to do this one more time. The Power of You. But to see Jamie Kerr in person will be just the thing that will be the Mindkite, and will be your IRP to say, I am going to know how to retain. I know I'm going to project myself in the world. What is your last piece of wisdom that you want to share with our audience?
I think really importantly that everyone has something to share, and we have to, because if no one did, then who would do? And if not us, then who?
If not now, when? If not you, who? And if not this, then what? We've got this, Jamie. Boy, did you just feed into what was going through my mind. Isn't that cool? We've got this, we've got the who, we've got the what. I'll see you on our Zoom on the 18th. Thank you for just gracing us with not only your knowledge, your mind, your spirit, but your heart. I'll just say that Jennifer is one lucky lady, and we are so blessed to have you in Health-a-Pedia. See you on the 18th. Ciao for now, Jamie.
Thank you for having me.
So the 18th of September, our book launch. Our 18th of September is the day that we're releasing this to the world. You can get all of this information on my website. There we go. Health-a-Pedia.net will give you the information on the next book. drjody.com events. You'll see everything there. And then just be with the 1 million people that are going to be watching live. You'll hear not only Les Brown, Serena Brown, Jamie Kerr, who he just filled me up. I feel like I could just run out of here and do a marathon. And I'm getting over a sprained ankle, but I feel like I could do it anyway. We're going to have Dr. Gary Chan Sanchez talk about the Y Institute, Dr. James Marinakis, bits from Bernie, Dr. Bernie Siegel, something to snack on, Manny Lopez, Kim Jacobs, her son Ivan Jacobs, Kimberly Meredith, the medical medium, and so many more. Every single author will be speaking, and what they'll give you is their experience that they've transcended into expertise. Whether they're practitioners are going to give you practical knowledge, but all will give you experience, strength, and hope. So tune in starting today. For the next 10 days, there's going to be one event, Health-a-Pedia event, every single day, because that's how we do it, the Dr. J way. Remember, when you take care of you and your world first, the world around you is empowered forever. But life is like a milkshake. Just make sure you choose your ingredients wisely. The IRP method, your Mindkite method, and you'll know simply how to do it easily, effectively from the heart. this is what we do. And until next time, we'll say, this is Dr. J saying, have a healthy day. Ciao for now.